Well, from super shopping in Morrison Street to a school which claims to be the oldest in Britain and which reopened its doors today, 4 years after its intended death under the abolition of selective schools. Now completely independent, the High School of Glasgow continues its 850-year checkered history. Fidelma Cook reports.
The modern exterior of the school's new premises at Anniesland Cross belies a tradition which began in the crypt of the Cathedral of St. Mungo almost 900 years ago. And for a school with such a history, they seem to have been moved on quite a bit. Only this old stone shows they were once in Greyfriars Wynd around 1450 and then moved to make way for Glasgow University. They had a brief stay in George Street and John Street and finally ended up in Elm Bank Street until last year. But there's never actually been a break in the teaching. Once it was known that direct grant schools were to go, the high school joined forces with Drew Stainton's school in Bears Den, which now acts as its junior school. And today's ceremony was attended by many of the people and old boys who've raised an incredible £635,000 to open the new school. Bursar and fundraiser Norman Thompson summed up how it felt today, the culmination of months of fundraising.
This is just terrific. After a long, hard struggle, we're here.
Did you at any point think that there might never be another high school of Glasgow?
No, I didn't, but there were people who did. But I'm glad to say that quite a number of them now have admitted an error of judgment.
You raised quite an astonishing amount of money. How did you do that?
Well, a lot of it, more than half of it, came from former pupils. The parents contributed very well, and we were also helped greatly by industry and trusts, and about 500 well-wishers, people not connected with us at all.
Were you surprised at this amount of enthusiasm?
Not really, because the high school has been the Glasgow school for 800 years, and there's a lot of not just sentiment attached to it, but people just didn't want to see it die.
Appropriately enough, the ceremony began with the school song, slightly shakily rendered by the 700 junior and senior pupils. But it was left to Lord Hume to sum up the feelings of the parents, now paying an average £200 a term.
It is inherited because the school is born of the age-old determination of the citizen, old and young, to assert the right of fathers and mothers to pay for the kind of education which they conceive to be right for their children. It is both inherited and new because the high school was born of the goodwill and compromise which was necessary if the High School Pupils Club and the Drew Stainton School were to join in common adventure. The new conception of this new high school needed imagination, and it was forthcoming.